Hello, everyone. So this panel is going to be about AI in terms of player engagement and customer engagement. It's going to be very interesting. First of all, I would like to thank Maxime Monzer and Brick and Buffy for inviting me in this panel. It's my second panel that I host. The previous was 10 years ago about video games. So I'm the CEO of GameWorld.gr. It's a social media agency, AI-powered. We have also AI projects for our social media clients. Our clients have to do with fintech, video games, and media. Our largest client is cryptonews.com, in which I'm the head of social media. Also, I'm the eToro Champion Popular Investor. I invest in stocks from AI companies and AI-related companies. And also, I'm the general manager of GameWorld.gr. So, I have with me Mínως Piτσιλλίδης, who is a Cyprus-based fintech entrepreneur, technology leader and CEO of Tektio, with over 20 years of experience in IT infrastructure, cybersecurity, and financial technology. He's also the founder of IT Flow Limited and focuses on scaling secure IT systems for regulated industries, and he studied computer science like me, but he studied in the University of East London. I studied in Athens. The panel has two Greeks and two Russians. I'm from Athens and Mínως is from Cyprus. So we have Andrey Ivashentsev, is the general manager of Sigma. He's the co-founder of GDCY, founder at Metaplan and MIXR. He worked in Microsoft for 6 years, first in sales and then as a regional director. And for his 6 years, he won 5 awards, including 2 Star Awards. He studied mathematics and IT.
That's the shortest and the fastest version of my LinkedIn.
Yes. And we have also Jane Artemova, who is the Senior Business Development Manager in Dev2Dev and leads strategic partnerships at Sigma. She studied language interpretation and translation and also worked in Appness as Vice President of the Global Sales Department. So, and the plot twist, I have a video games background with my 2 Russian co-speakers, while Mínως will talk about a little more about iGaming. So let's start with the first question, and before the question, you can add whatever you want with your work that I didn't cover. So my first question has to do with the following. What is the opinion of gamers regarding AI and the usage that is being done in games? Because we know a lot of gamers complain that they have AI-generated graphics, AI quests, while we know that AI in a kind of form existed in video games in the old times, but not, of course, like today, because now we're discussing about real AI. And they believe that this is bad quality because they are paying for these video games. So this, they believe it destroys an experience in a video game that they are actually paying. So we'd like to know what is your opinion about that. So for these questions, I will start from Jane.
Hi everyone. Well, basically, my response here would be that you can use AI very differently in video games. You can generate lots of neuroslop arts instead of having like your very high qualified artist on your team, and that is bad because that's like kind of something that is not respectful for the players. But there are really great examples of, for example, integrating AI technologies into the player support, which actually increases the time of response whenever players have any issues with the game. And while they're waiting for some people, some human beings to respond to their questions or issues that they want to actually solve very quickly, they can talk with AI, and if the AI models are trained well, they can get the solution to their problems really, really fast. And that's something that actually has the positive feedback among the players.
Okay.
I would disagree with you that AI now is real AI. We never know whether it would be real or unreal AI. I was studying in university I don't remember, 20 years ago or something, and we were studying AI, and we were deeply researching lots of things. And what we could see now that the players that are disagreeing with the usage of AI mostly are disappointed because of they are believing that they are playing game, that they paid around 80 euros, and it's AI free because usually AI is used or was used for the last few years just to fill the gaps when you don't have enough time or enough effort to put proper content there. So it's like saving money on something. And in this case, people expect that they will pay in less for the less quality of the product. And right now, it's just a tool. Around, I think, 90% of AI code of AI agents and AI services right now worldwide are written by AI because it's already there to provide necessary quality that could be widely used in any project. And we all see that the quality of these products increasing year over year. And it's almost impossible today distinguish where it's AI fully developed or AI partially developed or developed without AI. So we here in 2026, just like in the beginning of the era, where we still can somehow recognize when it's used and when not. Most cases of using AI in games related to some kind of narrow slope art that were appearing in different game assets for textures or for 3D models. But unfortunately, right now, the quality of most AI engines for 3D generation or for picture generation are not good enough to be used in AAA games. Everyone is using AI, as Jen mentioned, but the quality and quantity of this AI in the products is different. For example, when we're developing games, we were always developing 3D models from scratch. Now you could use AI to just generate the roughly model by some sketches, and then your 3D models just spend 10 less hours to make it nice. So you're saving 10 hours for your exact concrete workforce. So your workforce saving money, you're saving money, and we're just shipping games faster, and that's it. And that's bit by bit helps everyone everywhere. And there's nothing to do with that. That's the new generation of the tools that we're using to make things happen.
But the difference is that in the old times, the first video games had, let's say, the AI when it comes to CPU behavior. But now we are talking about, when I say real AI, I mean the AI that is being used in the game development to actually save time from the developers. So the goal of the developers here is that they should not get caught in the human eye if they make AI graphics or if they make AI quests. What is the goal here?
They can if they announce it properly. So if you're not lying anyone, so yeah. So for example, 100 or 1,000 or 100,000 of the content pieces in the game is made by AI. That's why it's sold for 20 euros and not 80. If everyone's okay with that and it doesn't ruin the game experience, everyone would be happy.
Okay, Mínως, let's go to the gaming side.
I agree with what they said before. I mean, regarding, the gamers. The gamers are very frustrated about the AI. Through research I found through the internet, 85%. Most of the gamers are, let's say, negative about the AI. The problem here is not about the AI, it's about the gaming studios that they replace, the human creativity with the AI. So when, gamers are paying, let's say, 70 euro to play a game, they will look into find, the human creativity and not like an AI for them. So yes, I agree with whatever they said, before as well.
Okay, about the AI and data, that they're being called the biggest game changers for customer and player engagement since social media. So from your perspectives, what is the single most exciting transformation that you have seen in AI and what it matters most? We can start with Mínως.
Okay, more or less what we can see, let's say that I used to be a developer, let's say, in the past, but now I'm not. So we can see, let's say, the development of the software, let's say, on the past. Now it's changed and it's predicting the users, let's say, in real time. I can speak on fintech, which I have more experience when it comes to trading crypto. All the data we're receiving, let's say, is in real time. So it's quite well, about the AI and everything that is helping us. I can add here as well, that for me, it's a game changer, let's say, no regard to, compared to the social media, because with AI, you can develop things that can be well-known more faster.
Okay, Andrey?
I'm working with data or selling data-related tools for 20 years, now I'm not, but like 20 years ago. And everyone was speaking about big data, all up cubes and all the stuff that like you could use to know your customer better. You could do A/B testing. You could do some specific approach on special deals with the customers you're facing. And the reality is that even if the company have enough data, if they have enough effort to make it right, unfortunately, only like 10% of the companies with the big budgets are capable to do such a thing. Just because it's a bit complicated to arrange and to make it right. AI doesn't make it easier. It make it easier to extract the data insights that you could use, like for how it's now popular, data-driven decision making. But if you want to delegate this task to AI, that like could be very, very strange because it always requires human control. So Jane is working in data analytics, and she probably could tell a bit more about that. And people still don't know what they want to do with their data. And they're asking AI what they need to do with their data to make it like better or how to get more money. You know, everyone is wanting to push nice red button like make money and do nothing. And AI should do all the things. But it still requires not only artificial intelligence, but essential one.
Okay, Jane?
Yeah, like Andrey mentioned, I'm involved in product analytics, and product analytics tools help people understand how what they change in the game or in their product, how it impacts user behavior. But the problem is that currently lots of companies have invested heavily in AI and have built AI agents that try to interpret the information, and they and AI gives them some hypothesis, like this happens, like your retention has dropped because, and actually that's just a hypothesis from AI, which should be checked by some qualified people who can really understand whether this hypothesis has a ground under this hypothesis. And no AI can tell you exactly what to do to run and to check this hypothesis and to interpret the results of A/B test further. So it is still like a good support, that's still good ground to try to see the dependencies between data and some events that happened, like retention dropped or engagement dropped or churn has increased. But still, it's not a magic wand that gives you all the answers.
But the good thing is that AI provides easier ways to extract the data insights if you have a huge amount of data. But it's still limited the memory requirements that like we still have on all the AI models. We are very limited on the context that AI model could use. And well-trained data analysts with proper experiences knowing how the games should behave and have a common knowledge of similar game analytics and similar game metrics could be much more efficient than AI when you're hitting the limits of the model.
Yes, the memory and the hard drive requirements have grown a lot. That is why the stocks of those companies have grown a lot too. So let's go to the personal questions. First, let's start with Mínως. We have a question with two scales. As a CEO of Tektio with deep experience in IT infrastructure design, cybersecurity and building scalable systems for businesses in Cyprus and beyond, what are the real-world technical and security challenges companies actually face when they want to roll out AI-driven customer or player engagement tools? Let's start with this, and then I'll go to the other.
The biggest problem we have with the AI now is like that the companies that don't have the ready. Okay. The biggest problem is like with the companies is like when it's come to they don't have the correct infrastructure for the AI. This is something that we giving also some recommendations to our clients. And also it's about, let's say, the cybersecurity. Most of them, they don't understand what risks they have, let's say. I mean, I can give an example. I mean, most of the users we see in the companies, they just buy a subscription and they put a lot of documents in there, I mean, chat, so this is a risk, I mean, about them. Also, I can add, let's say, for example, that a lot of companies, especially on fintech, when it's come now to the regulatory, which we have the GDPR and the DORA, They need to be more secure about the data. There is a very big fines about that. And if they don't follow up, I mean, it will be very crucial for them.
Okay, and the second side of the question, when a mid-sized studio or traditional business in Cyprus wants to implement AI tools, what do you think that they need to get done from day one in terms of preparing so that they don't end up with expensive mistakes?
When it comes to AI, we speak about data. So the first things that they need to do is about audit their data. So they need to know, I mean, who they own data, who has access on their data, how they manage the data. And also what I can add here is like, what is the scope of the problem? Do we need the problem? Do we solve the problem? Let's say take one problem from scratch and we're trying to solve this step by step. So this way they can reduce the cost, I mean, let's say, and of course, let's say they can hire any expertise like us, which can give them, let's say, any recommendations that they want for this type of issues.
Okay, Andrey, with Metaplan's zero-code metaverse platform and your leadership at Sigma and GDCY, you're building tools that let brands and creators create virtual worlds without huge teams. How is AI supercharging player engagement inside these immersive environments, whether it's procedural storytelling, AI companions, personalized worlds, or cross-platform experiences on Quest, PC consoles, or even mobile? And where do you see this heading in the next, let's say, 2 or 3 years?
It's very hard to say what would be here in 2 or 3 years. We were not expecting the growth of AI for the last 2 years that we see right now. And like everyone was laughing about pictures having 6 or 7 fingers with the humans. So right now we're generating video with any content of any type. So speaking about my programs and companies, like I started with Sigma because that's the easiest and simplest one. We right now developed the system that fully and completely covers our membership application platform. So all the members of association who apply are passing the multi-level compliance checks. It's QIC, QIB procedures that are required by many legislations that we are operating with. And the reality is that it was impossible. So before that, the only way to proceed with that was hiring a legal firm or to buy a subscription of expensive QIB provider that would be costing around 50,000 euro per year at least for their like regular businesses like ours. Even if we're non-profit, we don't even have such amount of money for a year spending just to check in the application of the membership. I understand when banks could use this kind of systems because that's their compliance requirements and they have a huge amount of data and huge amount of money on the stake. So for us, we were able to build compatible and comparable by feature platform that could do the same thing like 100 times cheaper. And I wanted to say that it's 100 times faster, but I'm not sure that it's really it. But anyway, we right now have a fully compliant GDPR storage of data. We are working with the confidential documents. We have automated pipeline working with that and working with our customers and our members. And we could pass all the procedures required by law and by government to fully operate with this data. So that was just impossible 5 years ago. So probably the next step would be fully automating all the insights by AI, but we don't want to do it right now because right now I'm not sure that all the models that we use are fully compliant in terms of working with confidential data. So most of the things we're doing privately in our own self-hosted environment. So that's limiting our resources and we can do this kind of magic that big models right now available on the market can do. So yeah, we use it on a daily basis. We generate content. We like optimize our insights because right now we are required to provide deep data analytics on Cyprus game development state of industry, and because Cyprus became the last country in the European Union that finally had established game development association. And for the last decade, nobody collected any data with game development specifics, and we need to collect this data, analyze this data, collect all the insights, double check that they are right, cross-validate with all the sources, and this data we are providing to the industry and to the government to show that we are contributing to GDP and we are making big progress as an industry. So it's much easier for now for us to work with these kind of things. It was impossible before. Speaking about other businesses, or we could pass this one.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, if you mention about the social worlds in Metaplan is the tool that we developed for metaverse generation with zero code, so you could just enter, create a virtual world, operate with 3D objects, or invite many people there. That's probably the ideal tool that Zuckerberg wanted to launch when he renamed Facebook to Meta and started developing the Horizon Worlds. But the reality is that right now the demand is very, very low and the market shifted to AI dramatically. And even if we embed and implement all the 3D asset generation and interactive AI companions and all the stuff, it's easier than never before. So we could have developed the platform within a month instead of 2 years that we've done before. So right now, almost everyone could do the same thing if they put enough effort and tokens into that. So we lose our competitive advantage because when we're wasting time and effort in development, right now it's much, much more easy and cheaper to achieve.
Okay, and I agree with the shifting from metaverse because I'm saying this from the first time that VR headsets came out, that the demand was always low. So we saw that Meta's stock started to rise when they shifted completely to AI in the last days.
It was not like that during the COVID because everyone needed some kind of environment to interact with other people and to work with their colleagues. And that was a great shift because in the reality, the way that metaverse were announced and developed, maybe you've seen or read the book Ready Player One. The concept of interactive worlds are very, very interesting and very, very compelling. The problematic shifted. That was you're doing all the same and you're working in the virtual world. Now nobody wants to work in the real or virtual anywhere. Everyone wants to AI do the things.
So, Jane, you worked directly with studios on user acquisition, retention, and monetization. How exactly are AI-powered analytics changing the way that studios understand and keep players engaged today? For example, predicting when a player quits from a video game, personalizing live ops experience for players, or optimizing in-game economies. And can you give us a before versus after example?
Well, I used to work with user acquisition many years ago, but what you're mentioning is more about product analytics, because when you acquire users from different ad campaigns, you start analyzing them after product analytics is something that happens after the installation, after you acquired this user from one of the ad channels. Currently, the problem is that the problem that was here before AI could give you some insights is that product managers who work on the game and who run A/B tests to understand how what they change in the game impacts user behavior, they went to ask to product analysts to create some dashboards to analyze what happened to the user behavior. And it makes the cycle of getting the insights longer because you go to the product analyst creates a task, then they fulfill this task, and then they get back to you with some insights. So from the moment when you could have understood what to do next, you're just waiting for several days until a product analyst gets back to you with some answers. And the momentum can be lost. You might have acted several days ago, you might have shown the player some special offer with a discount or something, but you have been waiting for several days just to get a response, and the momentum is really lost. Now with AI, it's a bit faster because AI helps you understand these numbers better because product managers preferably should have some product analytics background, but the reality is that it's not necessarily like this all the time, and sometimes product managers really lack some deep knowledge in product analytics. And in this case, product companies, product analytics companies, right, like Dev2Dev, for example, we have AI assistant that helps you find quicker insights. Like we mentioned before, it's not like 100% clear and like true data, but at least that is something that you could start from, and at least that is something that you can start exploring further. So this just increases your chances of getting information faster, to act faster, and to try to increase the metrics faster. So this is, it's not like, again, it's not like bulletproof solution, but at least that really helps. Okay, now a question to everyone. We've talked a lot about players, but customer engagement in non-gaming businesses like retail, finance services, even crypto media is exploding now with AI too. So where do you all see the biggest overlap between player engagement tactics in video games and customer engagement in traditional sectors? And what are the differences that matter most? We start with Mínως.
Okay, on gaming, we see the character mode on specialize on these things is regarding when gaming, I mean, is giving you the option of loyalty points, the real-time effect. I mean, the overlap here is the psychology. In fintech, in crypto, you're playing with real money, you lose your money, I mean, let's say, for example, but when it comes to the gaming, you just lose, points. So I can say, let's say, it's the same, I mean, games, let's say, the same addictive, but, I mean, in the responsibilities on real world is different when it comes to fintech and crypto, because over there you lose real money.
Okay.
You mentioned retail industry and where we engaging with consumers. I've been in retail gaming business. Maybe you've seen all these interactive gaming or gamifications, and as they were like called in many years, when you're developing game and embedded it into the application of retailer or any other platform. Unfortunately, this is the almost only chance to attract users to the application of retailer or any other service provider that drive other behavior than just opening the loyalty card. And the problematic is that everyone wants to have a fully engaged audience, but to make proper game and embed it into the app, it takes a lot of effort, money, and resources. Everyone wants easy solutions for that. So like embedding match 3 or runner games into any app is like easy. You could do it in a day or like in a week. The hardest thing is how to make it convenient and compelling that people want to return and play it once more. That's how all the retention metric works. Like, and this is the data layer when you need to know your audience, because like you wouldn't launch the game that's only interesting for kids on regular grocery retailer store app, because the main audience there is 35 years old, because like they go in buying groceries, and you want them to go in the app, engage, and show them the ads and all the stuff. And that's the main problem that requires knowing your customers, analyzing your customer pools, and the ideal world would result is that for any campaign, for any audience, you're launching not one, many different games that are diversely targeted with the age audience, gender audience, like behavior audience. And for example, if you're buying sweets in a store, you could see the match 3 with sweets. If you're buying, for example, fruits, it would be with fruits. And this adoption is limitless, but somebody needs to think about that, implement that. AI could do that, but somebody should be believing at this point of view and spend some money. But in my belief right now, people are shifting a lot from playing mobile games, even if it's not very specific mobile games, as complementary mobile games for non-specific gaming apps. Because if I'm proceeding in progressing in my favorite mobile game and I'm like competing with my friends, it's one thing. If I spend a huge amount of time and effort in the game that will disappear tomorrow because retailer decided that they want to switch to another one, it doesn't make any value. So there are lots of tools right now that could make it amazingly nice and provide a great experience, but I'm not sure that anyone would do that. But the reality is that with AI, you could do these games as easy as like making slides for PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, Jane?
I have actually an amazing example of using AI to engage players and to retain players. There's a Chinese game called Where Winds Meet, and they use like AI to have like dialogues with NPCs. And one of the like several quests are like involve in convincing an NPC character of something. Unless you can do that using your speech, using your argument, using your like your thoughts, your ideas, you can't progress further. And this is again an example of AI not being necessarily bad and creating games, because this is a great experiment. It involves a lot of the attention and talent from a player to try to convince an NPC that this character needs to give up drinking and to pay more attention to his wife. And unless you can do that, you can't progress further. So this is like really
common
cool.
Common thing.
Yeah. But yeah, this is an amazing example of using AI to involve players and try to think it over, to think about the game, to think about your strategy, to think about the things that you want to say to this character to convince him of something.
Okay, thank you. Now let's go to the next questions, which are the final ones. What are, Mínως, what are the biggest risks or ethical challenges you're seeing around data privacy, algorithmic bias, or over-personalization in AI-driven engagement? And how should companies, especially smaller ones in Cyprus, navigate them without slowing down innovation?
The biggest risk in manipulation is the bias, is the secret killer from, the biggest preferentialization in iGaming and crypto is this bias, which is a kill and seller. I can give an example here. Let's say, as we know, the model of AI, if you don't give them the correct data and you feed them correct, then it will give you wrong. Let's say when we have an AI chatbot, let's say, and you don't give them the correct, information, or you have people that is interacting with them. So afterwards, the AI will not reply, in the correct way. So you learn them by wrong. What I can suggest, let's say, to Cypriot companies, be transparent with your users, trying to find the problems, and trying to make it easy. Don't use compliance like a checkbox. Use it more like it's a fundamental.
Okay, thank you. And now a question for Andrey and Jane. Both of you are deeply involved in Sigma and the Cyprus game ecosystem. So for local studios, indie devs, or even non-gaming businesses here, what are some practical, low-cost ways that they can start using AI and data for better engagement today? And also, whether zero-code tools like Metaplan, analytics platforms, or whether through tools like Metaplan, analytics platforms, or smart infrastructure choices?
Today, that's the easiest, up to date. Now we're in the moment of time where any person could just develop the game within a day or within a weekend. There are no limitations. You could do graphics with AI. You could do storytelling with AI. You could develop it with AI. You could do publishing with AI. You could do marketing after that with AI. And
Can you tell us some specific tools we can advertise them? Like Base 44 is for websites. Do we have some equivalent for video games?
It's, you know, before everyone started programming, we were teaching how to program, you know, in the class by pen, so without any computers. So it's if you know what to do, it doesn't matter what tool do you use. The next point of view is like what tool is more convenient, is easy to use, but any tool that was developed in the last 3 years for AI almost fully are replaceable by ChatGPT, Claude, and many other AI agents right now. So I'm not in a big in position to recommend any kind of tools, but actually you could go launch Claude Code, spend €1,000 for the tokens, and ask Claude like, I want to do a game about kittens. And like, what game, what genre, for what audience, how, and then he would just do it for you. It's like, unfortunately, the creativity is like very generic there, but if you have some crazy idea in mind, you could implement it easily by your own hands and AI out of the box. So the problem is that right now everyone could do the same. The problematic that we're facing right now is discoverability, because if everyone wants to be a creator, then they need to find the consumers somewhere. And you understand that right now we have movies and the TV series in the huge amounts of time that we couldn't watch in our like entire lifetime, or 100 of lifetimes, or thousands of lifetimes. The same for games. But the amazing thing right now that you could do the game of your dream, the game you wanted to play, develop and play by yourself, with your own characters, with your own idea, with your own way of playing this game. And the funny thing that you could even ask AI to develop the ending that you don't know about.
Okay, Jane?
Well, I don't have a lot to add on top of what Andrey has just said. It's actually, I would say that we live in amazing times where you can involve easily involve your kids, for example, that are not have not graduated from the university and just like school kids. You can involve them and create some family game. Like it's it's a new way to spend quality time together, and that is something that is also was not an option 5-7 years ago. Only maybe for some highly skilled programmers that could try to teach their kids, but now it's not necessary. You don't have to be a programmer. You don't have to make your kids study code programming for several years. You can just spend this time together and make it a family hobby, which is also very surprising because it was not an option several years ago. Yeah.
Okay, I want to know if we have any questions from the audience, because I have one final question and I want to know the time. Do we have any questions for after?
They are just
No?
here.
Okay.
It's fine.
So let's go with the audience question, the pre-last question, but we have only 7.5 minutes. If you could give one advice to the audience, whether they're a game studio or marketer or startup founder, how to start leveraging AI and data for customer player engagement in 2026 and beyond. What would be this advice? Mínως?
I can say, let's say, stop waiting for the best AI strategy. You need to start, from the scratch, as we do in most of the layers like we have, or even before presentations that I mentioned. Every business, let's say, they sit in the data that they're not using. So trying to create, let's say, clean to understand what is your needs, how you can progress. Also, let's say, what I can say, let's say that don't try to hire any special teams, let's say, with AI development or any AI specialist. It's not going to matter, I think so in 2026, the better companies will not the companies that they win with the better model, the more stronger, let's say, is hosting servers, but the one that they have, let's say, a fundamental and have a functional, on their data, how to use it.
Okay, Andrey, we need 1 minute answers now.
Yeah, the main question here is how you're going to use the AI. You need to at least set some targets, because most of the companies don't know what they want to do with AI. They just want to use AI because everyone is using AI, and like it's obvious that you need to use AI as well, but it's always starts with a problem. Definition of the problem is the key. Without any definition of the problem, you will just like solving something, and you will spend a lot of time, effort, something would change to the better, something not. But if you haven't got any ideas how to measure it and what was the goal, you'll be just doing it for fun.
Okay, Jane?
Yeah, I would say, to expand what Andrey has just shared, that you have to stay sharp and focused on what you want to do. Because if you try to engage with any AI tools without knowing why you're doing this and what's the idea behind you're trying out all of the AI tools on the market, you'll be just, randomly checking the AI tools, checking something, but it's not making you any closer to what you want to achieve. So stay sharp, stay focused, and try to network with the market and understand whether people have found some tools that are already working for them. It might save you some time on not trying something that would not work out for you.
Okay, and my last question and my favorite one is, how do you see AI in 10 to 20 years from now, both in general and more specifically, if you want, in video games? Mínως?
Okay, I'm going to speak about more my field. I'm not expert on gaming, on games especially. From 10 to 20 years from now, I see that AI, let's say, especially in fintech, let's say, will improve also the autonomy of, let's say, when you have executed traders or when we do onboarding, and everything will be more smoother and more faster. That is going to help a lot. I think so the companies that they will be more compliant and don't be afraid, let's say, to follow up all the policies. They will be the one that they're going to be more trusted to the users. And I can give an example. Let's say we're facing, let's say, go to websites or in different programs, and we're looking, let's say, some support, from the AI chatbot. But when you see an AI agent, I don't know, especially me, I'm doing these things, please bring me to the human. So I don't trust. So I believe, let's say, it's going to be a very, in the next future, the companies that they will, is companies that they will trust, because this is the main problem now with AI.
Okay, Andrey?
In 20 years, it will be something between the utopian world or Mad Max reality when AI is banned and we are all doomed. So it's vice versa. So right now, it's almost impossible to predict because China and the US are pushing it hard. European Union is trying to regulate, and we'll never know how it ends. And right now, the recent announcements of the model Magnus, I remember, right? There's models that are able to discover vulnerabilities in the software that's not launched yet. It shows that all the software we're using today could be hacked within a few minutes, and there's zero security, and even in army and the military forces, and it's everywhere. And if it would be like that, we are definitely doomed. If not, we got a chance.
Okay, Jane.
To me, trying to answer the question, what will happen with AI in 10, 20 years, is like writing Maya calendar that predicted apocalypse and end of the world in 2012, which never happened. So you never know. We can imagine anything, but to me, it might be the world of Terminator, where there's like a protest from the machines and so on. But seriously, I think we need to reimagine what we're doing and what we're getting paid for, because most of us will lose our jobs like in 5, 6 years. So we need to think about it hard and understand how you see, this question from the interviews, job interviews, like how you see yourself in 5 years. So that's the question we should be asking ourselves right now.
Not hungry. Yeah?
Okay, I hope that we will not lose our jobs. I hope that we will not have a Terminator apocalypse. And I hope in 20 years people could create video games much easier within a few minutes, even if they have zero knowledge, literally. And maybe I can complete Katyusha at some point, because I don't think I will ever find an investor. So thank you very much for this wonderful speech. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, I'm going to be present in one more speech as a guest this time that has to do with investments in AI, and it will be very interesting. Michael Kinazidis will host this. It's tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And now, after us, following is the closing speech, and after that, we have the network session. Thank you very much.
Thank you.